This is a Film Stories original podcast.
We made this.
Welcome everyone to the X-Cast. The truth is in here. This is our special Fight the Future Minute podcast. I'm Tony Black, and you're listening to our coverage of Minute 6 of the X-Files, Fight the Future. This minute begins at 5 minutes precisely, as we see the Neanderthal and the extraterrestrial biological entity in deadly contact, and ends at 5 minutes 59 seconds with Stevie, the young boy from Texas. Terrible, isn't it?
Oh.
The young boy from Texas. Sorry, Sarah. Falling through the Texan cave, and his friend's asking if he's okay. You okay, Stevie? Oh, God, it's terrible. I'm going to stop now. Okay, so discuss this minute with me. I'm joined by my fellow X-Casts hosts and producers for the last time for a while on Fight the Future Minute, Carl Sweeney and Sarah Blair. And I'm so sorry.
Howdy, y'all.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here, isn't it? I don't think we can top that, you know. So, good to be back, though.
We're wrapping up the 35,000 years BC. It feels like we've been there for 35,000 years, doesn't it? At this point.
Yeah.
So, are you sad? Are you sad to be seeing the back of the cave?
I'm looking forward to the opportunity to talk about, you know, some other scenes, and Mulder and Scully at some point will be good, you know. But, I mean, it's made me appreciate some aspects of this cave sequence a bit more, though, having to do these. So it hasn't been in vain, I don't think. It's been good.
Yeah, I've learned some good insights I didn't know before. That's what we're all about at the X-Cast.
Yeah. I'm not sure we've been that insightful
We're here to
in the last few minutes.
But we're not here to finagle and obfuscate.
And entertain. That's our remit. Yeah.
Yeah. Inveigle, obfuscate.
Yes. What did I say? Finagle? No.
Hey, we learned about your elbow in Vanilla Sky, didn't we? October
Sky. Yeah.
I can't even get my skies right still.
Wasn't
so,
it?
you know, it's not
It's good. It's a good movie. You should watch it.
I'm going to watch Vanilla Sky with Mr. Blue Sky on in the background in October outside under an October sky. That's my plan now. Anyway, so let's talk about the X-Files, because in this minute quite a lot happens actually for once. So you've got the final real attack, the final real battle between the EBE and the Neanderthal, which is quite like a brawl. You know, they're spinning around, and you know, the alien's going and all that, and the Neanderthal's going.
That was a good impression of the alien.
Thanks. Yeah.
We just recreate the fight.
This is quality podcasting, isn't it? Hey, this is what they're tuning in for. But yeah, they're having a good fight. Frank Spotnitz does talk about how this is exactly the kind of stuff that they couldn't do on the TV show because they didn't have the budget and they didn't have the scope. And I think, you know, we've mentioned this in the last couple of minutes, but it is like you do feel with this kind of scene that they would. I mean, for a start, it's like 6 minutes in, and we haven't even. You know, this would be the end, I suppose. This could be the end of the teaser. Although, actually, no, the end of the teaser would probably be Stevie falling through the cave, which is where we're going to get to. So, you know, we're not even got to the end of the teaser yet, in a way, and we're still minutes away from Mulder and Scully. So, in that sense, that wouldn't happen on an episode, would it? Even a two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. I think the whole stuff with the kids, I know we're going to talk about it, you know, in upcoming minutes, you know, but that all seems more like an X-Files teaser to me. Than this does, you know.
It's almost like 2-for-1 teaser.
It is, yeah, it's true. And there is one moment in this sequence, though, that makes me glad they couldn't do this stuff on the TV series. And you've kind of alluded to it already, Tony, but that moment where they're kind of grappling and they sort of swivel around when the camera's looking at them from up above.
Yeah.
That always kind of takes me out of this a little bit. You know, it feels a bit too much. But in general, it's a very fast-paced fight, isn't it? So it's a very fleeting thing, to be honest.
It does feel a little bit like Strictly Come Dancing.
It does.
which is
I do know that show.
Have you? Do you know that show?
Oh yeah, I watched
do you get that
it when
in
I was over
America?
there. We have Dancing with the Stars here. It's the same. Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Dancing with the Stars. Okay. Have they ever had a caveman and an EBE on Dancing in the Stars?
They have not that I'm aware of,
No.
but I haven't watched all of them. So
It's the lost episode, of it.
I feel like that would be a good X-Files,
On
good
the American-
SNL episode.
Yeah. On Dancing with the
Yeah.
Stars, though, do you ever get somebody who just can't dance but who survives for a few weeks because the public kind of likes them?
Yeah,
Okay. Because
definitely.
we've had like politicians and things who are just no good and miraculously they win the votes. Yeah. Okay.
It's more a popularity contest than a dancing contest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We definitely have that, don't we? Every year there are people who dance like they've got a rod up their
Anne
spine,
Widdecombe, I was
basically.
thinking.
Oh my god, yeah. Let's not talk about talking of aliens, but yeah. Anyway, you don't just Google her. Don't ask Google though. Don't ask your freaky Google pal, okay? Because you'll bring up lots of like horrible pictures of Anne Widdecombe. So don't do it to yourself, Sarah. Okay. But yeah, let's talk about the X-Files again. Anyway, so the brawl ends with the EBE being stabbed, and we see the black oil.
Yeah.
It looks
Where?
good, doesn't it?
Okay, quickly though, where does he get that obsidian blade? I'm curious because it's Texas, and there's
Jon
snow,
Snow.
a frozen tundra, Texas. Like, where does the knife come from?
It's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. Did they fashion like that kind of stuff back then?
This is why I was wondering, yeah. I don't know.
They did, but I just don't, because they had to. I mean, okay, yeah, I can't remember if I read or listened to a thing about mining in like Babylon, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was a thing, yeah. They had mines way back then.
Tell us more.
I don't remember where I
sorry.
heard. I remember like I saw it just recently.
Okay.
Somebody was talking
that a
about
podcast?
no. What was I watching? Gosh, now I can't remember. They were talking about mines and how it was like a spiritual thing for some people and like
What was going down a
like,
mine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like
Cool.
like digging into the earth for minerals and
Okay,
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it. But yeah, I can't.
I'd love it
remember.
if you just bumped into someone on the street and just started to talking about that, like somebody you knew in like the street.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Sarah,
Possible.
did you know about the pre-Babylonian mines where they were digging for minerals
Yeah.
spiritually?
Yeah,
That's like
it's like a spiritual thing. Yeah,
it's cool though.
it
Yeah,
is really
it's cool.
cool. I just can't remember. Now it's going to bother me because I can't remember where I heard that. I'll figure it out. Maybe it was something on.
Did it come to you in a dream?
It could have. I could have dreamed this.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Happens to me
It's
all the time.
quite possible. I could have dreamed this. No joke. But yeah.
But yeah, we've got the black oil though, which comes out of when it comes out of the body. It's a practical effect. So when you see it seeping out of the EBE corpse, but then when it's slithering along the floor,
Yeah.
it's Matt Beck CGI doing all that stuff, which you can see the difference. You know, you can see that
Yeah.
they've had to do all that. It's still effective though. You know, I mean, and obviously X-Files fans will immediately recognise this, isn't it? It's one of the big visual iconography things for fans of the show that they'll go, oh,
Yeah.
it's the black oil. You know?
Yeah, I think it does. It looks good, doesn't it? And like you say,
Yeah.
it's going to have very different associations for long-term viewers who've seen every episode. The casual viewers who might have seen the black oil once or twice, but maybe can't quite remember, you know, exactly how it fits in. And new viewers, of course. And I was wondering how that would work for new viewers. But I think maybe the basic idea works well enough here that no matter what your level of exposure to X-Files, you sort of get it, don't you? And the visual works. And yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's good.
I think as well, it's one of those things that if you didn't know the significance within the mythology of the X-Files, you'd still appreciate that it's an alien creature, and it's obviously bleeding black blood, and you would just assume that it's like black blood. It might be quite a surprise then when it starts to move and then infect this guy, and that it's got some sort of consciousness and stuff like that. It's just it just makes the whole thing weirder, doesn't it, and creepier, and you know, a little bit more insidious, I guess.
Very much, yeah.
I remembered, by the way, it's Lore. I was listening to the Lore podcast episode. Whistle While You Work. I think that was the one. Just for anybody who's wondering. Don't want to leave that thread hanging. There you go.
Yeah. Imagine all the minutes people would be going, but what? Where did Sarah get that obsidian? Where did them mines thing from? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really effective introduction to the black oil. Apparently there was some concern about whether you would see the worms going up his body and into the face towards his eyes when the camera is panning up. And I think they tried to make sure they positioned the flame so it would provide that light. I think they were concerned that it wouldn't fit together. I think it does, though. I think you get the gist of what's going to happen to, or what might happen to him. I think
it's an important plot point, right?
Well, I mean, yeah,
especially people who haven't seen the show before.
And you certainly, whatever's going on, it's not good. And I think it works really well, doesn't it? That camera movement upwards, and then the boy falling through the hole, like the transition to the present day. It's quite a shift, isn't it? It's kind of like what happens in 2001 when the bone gets thrown up and then all of a sudden you cut to like thousands of years later. I'm not sure which one is the bigger jump, but it's that kind of thing, isn't it?
I think probably the bone thing is a more remarkable image.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's because obviously they use black, don't they? They use the match cut sort of blackness to then transition from different times.
Yeah.
But I think that in its own way, that's really clever. And it builds, the whole thing builds, Mark Snow's score builds really at that point, doesn't it? It's full of like trumpets and strings and that kind of thing, to the point where you're thinking, oh, what's going to happen? And then suddenly, boom, like, it opens up from above as opposed to below. I think it's a very clever bit of pretty seamless direction, I think.
And because of the way they have done that, it's quite an abrupt intro to these kids, isn't it? But like, obviously they'll be discussed more in later episodes, but because they kind of look the part and sound the part, all those kids, they have that level of camaraderie. It doesn't really matter that the first you see of them is like you kind of introduce to them kind of mid-action, as it were.
Yeah. Do you guys get full-on Stephen King vibes from these kids?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Like it is Stand By Me. Yeah. It is it, isn't it? It is proper. Or now, I suppose you could say Stranger Things actually as well. But it really is, isn't it? It's like, and it only really occurred to me years later when I started to watch some of that stuff and read some of that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this is totally very. These kids are all, versions of that kind of. Or
could we say that Stranger Things kids are versions of these kids?
Well, for sure.
Chicken or egg.
Maybe. The Duffer Brothers definitely have watched The X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
There is no question about that Stranger Things has been influenced by The X-Files. What hasn't? What hasn't really that is sci-fi genre TV that not been invented by The X-Files? I mean, everything. Pretty much.
It's true.
But
it's very true.
Obviously, Stevie will be talking more about... Stop again. In the next episodes. But he's played by Shane Black, isn't he?
Lucas Black.
Who at this point was Black. Shane Black's the film director. Why have I got his name mixed up? Shane Black directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and
Iron Man 3. Yeah.
And Iron Man 3. I mean, Lucas Black. I've got Shane Black written down on my notes because I'm an idiot.
Did you think it was Shane Black? Or
yeah. I was watching thinking, oh, there's Shane Black. Like, yeah, he was in Predator. But no, Lucas Black, who at this point was well known for American Gothic, wasn't he? Do you guys remember American Gothic?
No, but I know that
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, I remember the title. I don't know what it was. Was it a series?
Yeah, it was. I think it lasted a couple of series. It had Gary Cole in it as well as like a sheriff. It was a bit Twin Peaksy, I think, but just not as. I can't remember a lot of it.
Maybe I did watch some of it, but I don't think I.
Yeah,
I think I maybe only saw a few episodes. I don't know why I never watched it.
It was a funny show. It was a bit like, I think he was like a demon child in it or something like that. I'd need to go back and revisit it. I'm sure people listening will have seen American Gothic, so feel free to, tell us.
Do we know if he's still acting or what? Because I know he'd been in films like Sling Blade, and I believe he pops up in one of the Fast and Furious films, but I don't know if he persisted as an actor like beyond that. So
I think so, because he was in Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
Which was years ago, and then he crops back up in Fast and Furious 7 because it ties into Tokyo Drift. So he's in that, but beyond that, I don't know really. He's not done a lot.
He's been on NCIS a few times. It looks like.
Okay. How old is he now?
Okay. I reckon he's about 35.
Yeah.
About 35-ish? 30, 33, maybe?
Yeah, he's my age, 37. Maybe 1982.
Yeah. 1982. All the best people were born in 82.
It's true.
Yeah. And that's it. The next minute, Carl, you're taking command, aren't you, of the ship for the next few minutes?
Yeah, there's lots to come. We've got Stevie calling his friend buttwipe, and yeah, lots of stuff coming up. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
yeah, and
it's emphasis on the butt, Tony. Buttwipe.
Buttwipe.
Yeah, there you go. Buttwipe.
You've got to get the butt right. Butt. Okay, not buttwipe.
Yeah.
No, I sound like I'm from the north in England. Buttwipe. It's going good. Buttwipe. Anyway, this is great podcasting, isn't it, listeners? This is what you're signed on for at the Xcast. But it's been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for coming on, doing all these opening minutes for me. We've had to string a few things out with the cave, but I think we've done a decent job. And the three of us, we're all going to host at various points during Fight the Future minute. But we're not going to be together until the end. We're coming back in the last few minutes of the film, so that'll be fun when we eventually reunite in like 100 episodes time or whatever it is. Until then, guys, where can people find you? And if there's anything you want to plug, go for it.
Right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at CKJ Sweeney. The Movie Palace podcast is my show, and that's at Movie Palace Pod. And at Motion Pix Pod is, this other thing I do with some geezer. So yeah, you could go and give that a listen. Yeah. If you want to check that out, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, it's not very good. Don't bother. No, it is. We do it. It's our podcast about films. So yeah, Sarah, what about you?
Well, I'm on Twitter, Sarah L. Blair, and I've got a book out called Darkness Shifting. You can read that by the time this airs. I don't know. Maybe I'll have another one out. It's possible. Maybe I'll have two more out. Maybe I'll have finished the series by then. I don't know. Maybe there's no telling. But yeah,
let's hope so.
Yeah.
We're rooting for you, Sarah.
Thanks.
You can do it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Yeah, and I'm at AJ Black Writer on Twitter if you want to find me, and I'll be back. I think after Carl's little stint, like we're doing this in chunks, so we're going to try and chunk it per like sequences. So I'm coming back for a few down the line. I think I'm coming back for when Mulder and Scully finally rock up, but we're a little bit of a way away from that yet. We've got a bit of Texan.
I'll be showing up with Skinner.
Oh yeah, you're coming back for the skin man.
Carl, you'll have to answer this question for me in your next episode. How does a shovel not fall on his head? Like it almost hits his head.
Okay, I'll be sure to look out for that detail. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
I never thought about it before, but
he falls down and the shovel falls like right next to his head. It freaked me out. I never noticed that before because I wasn't a mom, but now that I'm a mom and I'm watching this, I'm like, oh my god, that shovel almost hit his head. So dangerous.
So. Forget the cliffhanger ending of Stevie falling through the cave, guys. This is where this is what's going to get you back next time. Yeah. What happened next? So for the answer to this riveting question about the shovel, tune in next time to the next episode of Fight the Future Minute. And remember, as always, trust no one.